Hey everyone, so this is just going to be a short update video as to why there's been a delay with the release of Onions Reduce Aggro. And the long and short of it is I decided that one of the two parts of the main gameplay loop I've decided I don't like the implementation of, and I think that it needs more work. So the part that I'm talking about is what you're looking at in front of you, because right now what happens is a couple ingredients will be unlocked with each week, and then you can make new meals based on those ingredients, and then you then see what customers it brings in. The problem is this is really no different than code breaking. So just like when you come across like a combination lock in a video game, if you want to, if the code isn't very big, it's not very big, you can just sequentially try each one. So even though these aren't numbered per se, it'd be easy enough to come up with a way of saying, okay, we're going to do single hamburger plain, double hamburger plain, single hamburger cheese, double hamburger with cheese. And so suddenly that takes all the fun out of it because now you're just going through it in this kind of regimented way, this very kind of systemic way. And so I think that takes the fun out of it. It's also a logical way to play, but it takes the creativity out of it. And just to be clear, I'm not worried about permutations. So for those of you who have had probability and statistics, permutations are the different arrangements but the same ingredients. In other words, so if you chose hamburger, cheese, and then bacon, that's one permutation. Another permutation would be cheese, hamburger, and then bacon. So I don't care about the order in which you've selected them. It's still the same meal. It's the same combination. So I'm ignoring permutations. I'm not worried about those. It's just the combinations is still this very procedural way you could take to go through all the different combinations. So what I'm thinking about is that I would instead make a modified version, which we discussed, but basically even modified even more. So I talked about getting rid of the automatic receipt of ingredients at the beginning of the week, replace it with a vendor, and the vendor would offer you a series of ingredients. Which ones do you want to add to your menu? And there'd be some limitation. Either they can only give you two at a time because of their limited amount of people that they have, or or maybe there's a financial restriction. You only have just so much money to spend. Whatever. You could come up with some arbitrary way of limiting how many ingredients you can buy. What I'm thinking about doing is that from the very beginning, the vendor has like 20 ingredients. So maybe a few get unlocked later, but from the very beginning, the choice is yours. Here's 20 ingredients. Which ones do you want? And you would select the ingredients, and then when you finalize the purchase, you would then get a series of unlocks. You get a message that says cheeseburger unlocked, hot dog with ketchup unlocked. And the idea is that you would use some real world knowledge to determine which ingredients you would get. Like, for instance, say you already purchased lettuce and tomato for the hamburger. Well, if you then purchase bacon and bread on your next week, well, now you've got bacon, lettuce, and tomato, otherwise known as a BLT. So two of the ingredients you've bought in the past can now be reused in an entirely different manner. And it also addresses one of the problems I have with this is I'd have to put so many controls into place to keep them from making things that are nonsensical. Like, what if they put a bun, a hamburger, and then a hot dog? No shame if you enjoy that, but to me that would be very weird. So um, that's the kind of things that I've been wrestling with also is between the code breaking approach and this kind of nonsensical approach. Um, I think that the recommendation that I'm discussing, I think, is a better approach. That get rid of this kind of minutia, and instead have the vendor with, like I said, from the very beginning, have like 20 different um, ingredients, and that it's up to you to choose whatever three of them or whatever you can afford, and that knowing real world cooking, what additional ingredients would then lend itself to even more meals, and then you get, like I said, you get the series of unlocked. So you would just get a series of announcements that say, again, bacon cheeseburger has been unlocked, hot dog with ketchup has been unlocked, BLT has been unlocked, that kind of thing. So that would take a fair amount of reworking. I already have the asset for the vendor, so that's not an issue. But that means I'm going to have to rework the tutorial, and I'm going to have to rework this because you would no longer need to manually name something. I really like this functionality, but sometimes you have to get rid of features that you like to get the bigger gameplay that's more important. So I guess that's about it. So let me know what you think, but I believe that's the way that I'm going to go. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Let me know. But like I said, between the code breaking and the ability to make things that are just nonsensical, um, I think that instead taking the approach where you choose the ingredients from a selection and then the menu auto populates based on those ingredients, I think that might be the more fun way to go with this. So, okay, so that's it. I hope you found this interesting, a little more insight into the game design process that I go through. And please let me know what you think, and please enjoy the rest of your day.